Hey everybody, this is Will Doggett. I'm an Ableton Live certified trainer and the founder of From Studio to Stage, and I help musicians and artists take their songs from the studio and learn to perform them on stage. And a big way to do that is by teaching them to use backing tracks, to create a playback rig, and then to create a connected stage experience. And I could not do any of that if it was not for iConnectivity interfaces. And so because of that, I'm super honored and privileged today to introduce you to the PlayAUDIO1U. Let's dive in and take a look at some of the features of this innovative interface. So in this scenario, I've got two computers that are running the same playback session. I'm gonna pull the power cable from the first computer. You see the screen go dark and it automatically kicks over to the B machine. You'll notice on the front panel of the interface, tells me that I'm on B. You see audio still running. What's great about this is it happens automatically. I could also connect a foot switch into the control port if I wanted to switch this manually, but no one's gonna hear the switch happen. It happens that quickly. No one on stage, no one in the audience will hear it happen. And no matter what type of MIDI controller you're using, you can connect it to the PlayAUDIO1U. So starting on the front panel, we've got two 5-pin DIN MIDI ports, a MIDI input and a MIDI output. So you can connect your MIDI controller to the PlayAUDIO1U to control your DAW. You could send program preset changes from it to 5-pin DIN MIDI devices on stage. You also have the USB host port, so you could connect a USB class compliant MIDI controller to that port, or you can add a USB hub to use up to 8 USB class compliant MIDI controllers, which is awesome. But my favorite port is on the back of the interface, which is the RTP MIDI connection. So it looks just like an Ethernet cable, but you can plug that into an Ethernet cable into a network switch and connect up to 22 discrete devices. So those could be additional computers, those could be additional interfaces. You could truly create a connected stage experience where you're sending MIDI to different devices on stage, different computers to control your production. Now, I've got a MIDI controller. I'm going to choose to connect it to the USB host port because it's a USB MIDI controller. And I'm going to open Oracle for X Series, which is the free control software from iConnectivity. I'm going to click MIDI Learn and then click a fader in the software, move a fader on my controller, and now I am directly controlling output levels on my interface from my MIDI controller. So whatever's lit up in the software, you can control from your MIDI controller. I mentioned previously you could connect a foot switch to one of those to manually switch from scene A to scene B. But in addition, you can now define exactly what those do. So you could have them change and load presets on your interface. You could also have them send program changes and CC changes to your DAW. So imagine being able to show up to the gig without even having to have a MIDI controller because you could do everything from your foot switch. Really, there's so many possibilities with that. And this headphone jack does more than just allow you to monitor. I can connect to this. I can choose whether I'm listening to the A computer, the B computer, or a combination of both. What I love about this though is I can actually mute the outputs on the PlayAUDIO1U and just listen through the headphone jack. So it's a perfect opportunity to create those last minute edits at the venue without having to yell at the front of house audio engineer to mute your connection. Now, the headphone output can also be 2 additional outputs on this interface. Because I said outputs, you're probably wondering what those look like. So if we flip the interface around, you'll notice on the back there are 12 ultra clean XLR outputs. This is huge, because this means you could skip the direct box, no more of those XLR pass-through panels in your rack. You could just connect a XLR cable directly to the interface into your stage snake or into your console. In addition to that, there's a switching power supply that uses a industry standard IEC cable. What this means, you could be anywhere in the world in any venue, you can find an IEC cable and it is the power supply that you need for your PlayAUDIO1U. And probably best of all, it is all fly ready. You can drop this into your rack. It only takes up 1 U of space for all that audio and MIDI power. Rack ears are already attached and ready to go. So that's a look at the PlayAUDIO1U from iConnectivity. Thanks so much for watching, and make sure to check the links in the description for more information. Take care, everybody. Bye.